way it's gone typically in the league is that they list all the international window dates and they say pick one of these or pick two of these to have off. So you pick one or two, and then maybe you get it off, maybe you don't. Okay, it doesn't matter just because you picked it that you get it. I know our club, and Adrian can maybe address this the best. I know our club asked to be off the international windows, so that was one of the reasons, because we said we'd take on an extra Wednesday game if need be. So that's what we've tried to do. We've tried for our fans, giving our fans the opportunity to have all our players here when we play, and we figure our fans will come out, even if that means coming out on a Wednesday night, because they know our players will be here. So we're off this international window. I think 6 teams are playing, but that's a little more by either their choice or the league's choice. But there's quite a few teams, I think, this year that had indicated that they would want all the international windows off as much as possible.
Do you recall which windows, or even in general, which windows you guys had specifically asked to take off?
Yeah.
And what's to stop every team to sort of say that we would prefer to have off the window in October, given that it's the latest in the year and theoretically everyone's sort of in the playoff hunt there?
I think a lot of teams have asked for that one off. I think we're off that one as well, aren't we? In October.
I have to look, but it sounds
yeah,
I think we're off that one. Yeah, I think a lot of teams are off that one.
Do either of the PK calls look any different after you've watched them, presumably?
I mean, the first one, I think there's no contact. I think he stubs the ground, but I can understand from a referee's perspective, you see it a little bit differently, depending on the angle that you have, etc. I can see that. There's also some other calls in the game I can't quite understand. When Valdez turns the corner on Waston, it's not even a card, and if he clears the corner, he's in on goal. Marshall, I think he put the referee into a position that the referee was able to make a decision like that. Is it a PK? Is it not a PK? I think if you watch, all the games this weekend, you can probably see 10 slide tackles that are very similar, and maybe 50 of them get 50% get called as fouls, and 50% are said no, he got the ball, play on. So, but when you put the referee in a decision that he can make that choice, then obviously it's not the best place to be.
Talk to Andreas a little bit about what kind of goes into the decision of him taking a free kick versus Clint taking a free kick. Do you guys sort of strategize which areas you would prefer having each player take those opportunities, or is that fully on them?
It's fully on them, because when you're out there in the field, you don't know, has the other team mislined the wall a little bit? I can't predict that before the game. Is the goalkeeper cheating over a little more to one side versus the other? Again, you can't predict that before a game. So they've got to see and say, hey, this is a pretty good spot for me. Andreas obviously felt he could get around the wall on that one. So, he sees the wall's a little bit misaligned. They see maybe the goalkeeper's a little bit out of position. They see maybe the wall's not as big as they thought it would be, so somebody's better going over in top, somebody's better from distance, somebody's better in tight. So that's something. There are 2 designated guys, and I have confidence in them to, work it out and make the right decision.
And maybe not with this team, but have you ever had an issue in your career going back where there are multiple guys that always want to take them? I mean, obviously there's only one ball to go around, but is that ever a issue among guys?
There's a lot of guys that want to take the free kick. It's like the old story I tell. On some teams, you're the guy who takes the free kick. On some teams, you're the guy who passes the ball to the guy who hits the free kick. And on some teams, you got to get away from it as far as possible, because there's other people that are better at it. And I think our team knows that there are 2 best at it, so that's why we go with it that way. But it's, there's other people capable of obviously hitting free kicks.
In this Vancouver game, it seems like the team was really connecting, and they got plenty of chances moving the ball well. Would you say this has been their best performance, regardless of the obviously bad result?
I think our play has been good, but at the end of the day, you've got to get results as well. And so, sometimes maybe you'd play less well and come out with points, and probably that's going to happen to us somewhere down the line, where we're going to be outplayed and come away with points. And, everybody will be a lot happier than they are right now. So, but I'm happy with how we're playing. I'm happy with our ball movement. I still think our our decision making in final third's got to be a little bit quicker, a little bit sharper. You know, got to be a little bit better at shooting from distance. Got to be a little more clever at key moments. You know, and then we just got to have some things break our way. You know, Dempsey's opportunity, Jordan Morris when he's in on the goalkeeper, you stick one or two of those away, and then everything changes.
Christian Roldan seems to be doing an excellent job in the midfield. How do you handle that with Eric being injured and then possibly coming back? How do you handle that? Is that just...
Well, right now Christian's playing. He's playing well. He's growing every game. He's improving. Eric is a good player. You know, he's not healthy right now. So once Eric's healthy, then we'll figure that out. We won't worry about it until then.
Okay.
Didn't notice Herculez Gomez out there today. Is he still planning on coming back and training with you guys at some point this week?
Yeah, I think there'll be something. Yeah, there'll be something on Herculez the next day or so.
I know you generally in this situation like getting back, having another game coming up quicker, but given that you've got this time off, what are the implications of it?
You'd rather play. You know, rather play right now because, you know, when you're where we are right now, we want to get back out there. We want to, you know, show our fans, you know, what we think of them and what we think of their support, you know, by coming out with a performance and a win. And so you want to be out there, but you know, the schedule is the way it is, so we're going to try and use this. It's a little bit of a break for some of the guys. You know, we've been going a little bit longer than some of the other teams because we've also had Champions League, so we can adjust some things as we go.
Something on Herculez the next day or so. Is that a decision or is that just him arriving back in the city?
Yeah, decision. Yeah.
Going back to Morris, he's had a couple of chances, one-on-ones. How do you keep his momentum of his attitude and not having him kind of just decline from those opportunities missed?
You just gotta, you know, you gotta get back up on the horse. You know, I mean, a goal scorer can't remember when he misses; he only remembers when he scores. And so we got to make sure that his memory stays selective, and you know that he knows how to put the ball in the net, and it'll just be a matter of time.
Is there anything specific you want to work on in training this week, especially with some players gone?
It's a little bit of different group, smaller group. Today we wanted to play a little bit more so those guys would get some game time in. You know, tomorrow we'll probably break it down a little bit more into functional work, make sure we're working on our crossing, our finishing, you know, having the midfielders working on, you know, opening the game up, building out of the back. So it'll be a little more functional this week.